that is preparing for our meeting in January 2021. It was supposed to be in person, but it is now transferring to a webinar virtual format, and we're excited for that to happen January 13th through the 15th in 2021. I'm happy to open it up to any proposals for any discussions at this point. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today in our first statewide virtual meeting. We couldn't do any of this without you. My name is Jermaine Cornish. I'm the Vice President of the California Association for the Deaf. First of all, I picked a quote from an African woman named Oprah Winfrey. And it says something that is very impactful for me. She says, "Be thankful for what you have, and you'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never ever have enough." And that's really true. Since COVID has impacted so many of us, we really realize this. We're thankful for technology, for example, FaceTime, Zoom, any kind of video communication access through technology like Facebook, FaceTime. There's so many technology things out there for us to be able to use, and we're so grateful for that, especially during these days. So what have I been up to since COVID happened? I have reached out to the different task forces and standing committees to make sure that I could support them, to touch base about what they've been doing. And I'm really thankful to all of them for staying involved, for staying up on top of the communication to help us understand what's going on across the state. I couldn't do it without all of you. So I really I'm thankful for everything that you've done for CAD. We've also been focusing on editing video for the CAD website and YouTube channel. We vlog a lot to make sure that we're able to support you through these last few months. So the CAD platform started with Black Lives Matter. That was something that impacted us all deeply, and we didn't stop for that. Instead, we decided to continue running a live stream every Thursday. And I think we've done now at this point probably a total of 15 live streams. We use this on both Facebook and YouTube. We're also maintaining a goal to increase more subscribers on YouTube and Facebook. We're able to see our numbers of followers increasing. We used to have only 3 or 4 followers on YouTube. Now we're up to 63. Before we had about 1,000, 2,000 Facebook followers, and now we're up to over 7,000. So it's exciting to see our community grow like this. If you want to be involved with us, whether it's through Facebook or YouTube, it's really easy to find us. Just type in CAD on Facebook. When you click follow, it will send you notifications as to what's happening in our community. If you want to find us on YouTube, before you click on YouTube, you need to subscribe to us through email. Click on the CAD YouTube channel and subscribe, and you'll be able to get notifications every time we post something new. We will continue to support you all and the things that are going on in our community. I really appreciate everything that you have done for us, especially since COVID. It has definitely impacted our lives, but that hasn't stopped us from keeping on. I remember back in 1912 when the Spanish flu hit. Can you imagine what it was like at that point for the deaf community? How were they able to communicate They had no FaceTime, they had no TTY, they had just each other, and they had to maintain their distance. And that was really hard, I'm sure. Today, though, it's different, and I'm really thankful for our technology access. Thank you all. My name is Deanne Bray. I'm the CAD Secretary, and I have nothing new to report today. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dodie Ellis. I am the CAD Treasurer. I'm here to give a report. Thank you for joining us this morning.
So the previous treasurer who established this, I was able to look at everything and reorganize all of the financial system to make it more efficient and smooth. When I looked at the reclassified system and looked at all the write-offs from last year, I cleaned up everything that was necessary. So after that reclassification, I was able to receive an accountant's copy of that financial report and hand that over to our CPA. But ever since COVID-19 hit, there has been a huge delay, and they're still working on that. They've been working on that since August 30th, so hopefully we'll be receiving that soon. This report was downloaded from QuickBooks, and it was put into Excel and made for the presentation today. The first report is CAD's general funding. Members are at either new members or the renewal of a membership, and also organizations that have joined CAD as well. So donating or sponsored, that is about 5,000. Those who are donating or sponsored is Illinois Productions, and another sponsor is Oracle's Crab Feed. The CAD board has approved this budget of $40,065 from June to December. And there is a transfer from accounts in this section. So the balance here is 50,917, and we will touch base on budgeting later. This next report shows chapter funding. I believe the balance is the same, except a small donation. Next slide, please. This report shows CAD's typical funding. There is the youth funding, ASL celebration, and also home office support. While working on this on QuickBooks, I found $500 from a charitable trust that Mark had stated belonged to the youth donation, and we needed to transfer that over. There was a $49 donation, and that was actually from DeCara's fundraiser that happened last year. And that is completely separate from CAD, and we will discuss that a little bit later. The $357 expense at ASL Celebration covered video editing services for the ASL Celebration event that happened last year, and that's already been posted to the website. So this is the Education Symposium that happened on January 11th, 2020. So this was hosted on January 11th, but in the previous year, there was a shown balance in the beginning of 2019. It was 1,994. The income was 6,913, but there still is an AR invoice totaling 2,000 that is still pending. Those expenses are from interpreting services. There were 13 interpreters at this symposium, and it was a very successful event. So, policy and legislature, there was a request for $3,000 for design and published information that was collected at the symposium. Since that launch of CAD's virtual platform, there have been multiple donations to keep the platform standing of this new project. Workshops and webinars have funding to support any future webinars, and also thank you to Vincent Kerf of Google. He personally donated $5,000, and that will cover this virtual statewide meeting and also Leanne's workshop later this afternoon, as well as the next virtual meeting or workshop that will be sponsored as well. So CAD board and CAD funding trustees have approved a budget of $40,065 for 2020. Ever since COVID-19 hit, the committee has focused on this year only, and we will be addressing the 2021 budget later this year. One of the proposals called for CAD collaboration with CalEd for any future education symposium. CAD does support CalEd's conferences by sending 2 presenters, but that has canceled this year. For the next educational symposium for California EDHI, that has a net of 8,200, but there is 15,000 set aside for expenses. The expectation is to offset the expectation of offsetting those expenses. Also for other mandates such as Deaf Senior Citizen Task Force, Deaf Care, Mental Health Task Force. So a budget of $500 was allocated to each task force, deaf blind, employment, and interpreting licensure. A budget of $2,000 was allocated for youth awards program and youth leadership. A budget of $750 was allocated for virtual office and website. We realized that $750 was enough since CAD is now using the virtual platform more now. We have spent more on operational expenses. So we've decided to match that with the expenses that we've set aside to offset that amount. And that was about $1,500. Another budget of $7,500 was set aside as a deposit for CAD conference. Another deposit was set down for CAD's Media Standing Committee. $1,500 was allocated for ongoing ASL Quality Committee, and $3,000 was granted to Policy and Legislation Committee. And that was the publishment of the F Word project. This is community fundraising. Two of those funds are not CAD related, but CAD is always consistently supporting the community. So President Kavita and previous treasurer Mark Hall decided to was given to DECARA, and that was totaling $4,197. Also, that money was for the attorney involved. There was a $49 donation from its own account. On January 16th, DECARA's staff brought back $4,097 back into the account and also paid legal fees for the court filing. The other community fundraiser was for Latent Interpreting Media. That is what LIM stands for. That team is part of the DRI and Cal EOS. DRI is Disaster Response Interpreting for the California Office of Emergency Services. If you are interested in supporting the deaf community and communication access, President and Kavita and I decided to hold those donations for those projects alone and continue to reimburse when that team invoices us for those services. Thank you so much. That's the end of my report. If you have any questions regarding my treasurer's reports, there will be a Q&A session later, or you can simply email me at treasurer@cad1906.org. Thank you so much for watching. CAD Director at Large North has no information at this time. Thank you. Hello, everybody at CAD and CAD membership. My name is Darcy Lessard. I am the former representative at Director of at Large for the Central Valley, servicing from Monterey all the way to Merced, all the way to Fresno, Hayward, Placerville, that big area. So anything before Bakersfield is what I was serving different communities and different people. I have been working with CAD for 4 years. I am very saddened to announce that I had to resign on September 1st for multiple reasons. Unfortunately, I do not have the time right now to explain why. If you are interested and you have the energy and time and motivation to do this work, please join CAD. We need people involved in this project. And also that director at large position for CAD. This position will facilitate information from the community to the president. Meeting with the community and members, facilitating those meetings, and also joining those meetings to listen to the community and everything that the community has concerns of, informing the president of what those concerns are. Now, with coronavirus, we have set up Zoom webinars and meetings for those different community.
I am soon graduating from graduate school in about 1 to 1.5 years. So I'm working on my projects and getting completed so I can graduate. I do want to say I hope that there's many people out there that are interested and willing to be engaged. Please reach out to the president and make sure that you get your name in there so that you can perhaps serve. It's been wonderful meeting all of these people, being involved in all of these meetings, and just meeting some really great personalities and strong people from across the state. I have learned so much from everyone, and I will remember that forever. Thank you all so much. Please consider joining, and I look forward to supporting from the back end. I'm always here, and I always will be here to support you all doing the good work that you do. Stay positive, keep up the good fight. I love you all. Hello, my name is Ming Chen Yang. I currently occupy the position as the South Director for CAD. I'm really excited to have our first CAD virtual statewide meeting and our first webinar. My responsibilities as CAD South Director is to do different duties like making CAD flyers for the platform. I also communicate with presenters before webinars happen to make sure that everything is correct on the flyers before we post them on social media. For example, Facebook and Instagram. I post all those flyers on our social media channels, and that is the scope of my responsibilities. Like I said, I am the South Director, and I focus on the South chapter. We have many positions available at the South chapter, including President, Vice President, Treasurer, Secretary, and someone representing the youth. All of these positions are available. If you are perhaps interested or just curious and you want to know a little bit more information, you can contact me at my email, which is listed here in the video. Thank you so much. Hello, I'm Membership Director Sharon Goff. I'm here to talk about the memberships. When memberships expire, I reach out to people to let them know that their membership is expiring. I'm also involved with different PR duties. We currently have 283 members. You can see the pie chart slide here. The green part of the chart means that we have current paying members, and that is a total of 192 people. We have no one on the lifetime one-time membership deal, no one on the free membership. We have 3 people that have accounts with no renewal dates. That's basically people that have some specific special situations. And then the orange part of the pie chart is counting accounts that are past due. And we have a total of 88 accounts and 88 people that have memberships that have expired. And I will be following up with these 88 people to let them know that they need to renew their membership. Now, what does our membership, what are we comprised of? If you see here the chart, 73.1% of our membership are just general members, people that range from the age of 31 to 54. 17.7% of our membership, comprised of the purple part of the pie chart, is our senior citizen group, people over the age of 55. The blue, light blue part is 6%, and that is comprised of our youth, ages 18 to 30. The little red sliver makes up 0.7% of our membership, and that is non-coalition organizations. An example of that is like the Deaf Cal Ed membership, Asian American organizations, Black organizations, those types of things. The light green sliver, again 0.7%, is comprised of small or mid-sized businesses that could include deaf-owned businesses that print shirts, sell different merchandise. That's an example of that. The dark blue sliver makes up 1.4% of our membership, and that is the California Coalition of Agencies. This is comprised of GLAD, OC Deaf, CODI, CODIE, those types of memberships. The orange sliver, 1.4%, is the home office patron. An example of that is, say, CAD needs some supplies, like a bag or a sweatshirt. Those are the people that do that. So where are our members living in our state? In Central California, we have 15 members. Northern California brings us 125 members. We have 1 out-of-state member. And in Southern California, we have 131 members. If you have any concerns or have any member-related issues, please contact me at this email listed on the slide. Thank you for your support. Hello, my name is Alexis Bravo. I've recently become the CAD Youth Director. How was I appointed? Well, I did attend California School for the Deaf in Fremont. And there were 4 of us students that went to the CAD conference. We shadowed different people and we learned a lot, and we were just absolutely floored at how amazing it was. We sent in an application to work as a volunteer. The board discussed the different nominees and decided to appoint me as the youth director. I am so excited to be able to work with you all, and I look forward to the things that are coming. Now, CAD is responsible for giving out awards. Now, this person is someone that is a very heartfelt senior, that is somebody that invests a lot in their community. We also are looking for deaf and hard of hearing students who are very talented. Often, these students are recognized in their places of education and given awards there. So instead, CAD wants to give somebody an award from the North region, the Central region, and the South region. It's going to be a surprise. Maybe we'll pick you. So go ahead and nominate people that you think might fit the bill. Send in your nominations, and I look forward to hearing from you all. We have different events going on. We have presentations, workshops, social time, fun night, and all sorts of different events. This is to help you network, to meet new friends, to grow your experience and your confidence, to help you develop your identity, to become creative. We decided to go ahead and host different events. If you want to be a part of that, or you have an idea for an event, please reach out and let us know. We would love to support you. Our goal is to support you in being able to create a network of people that reflects our organization. So maybe you're a new deaf-owned business or someone responsible for different event planning. Please let us know. We would love to work with you all, and I look forward to hearing from you. The Bylaws Committee Chair, Neil Sprouse, has no new information to report. The Deaf-Blind Task Force, Roberto Cabrera, has no new information to report. Hello, my name is Kay Vincent with the Deaf Senior Citizen Task Force. There hasn't been a lot of activity lately. There are two things I'd like to report on. I did meet with the residents at CAD. We had a coffee chat together. It was really nice to be involved in that. We were kind of discussing ways that in which the task force could help with that. That discussion is still in progress. I also met with a representative, well, actually it was officers from the Bay Area Deaf Senior Citizen Group. We shared some information. We asked questions about our respective ideas and roles and our needs. We shared information. So those are the two activities that we have done lately. I did have one person that reached out to me that was interested on joining the task force and working with me with different goals. That's great. I need a few more people, but other than that, we will keep moving forward, doing the best we can with the tasks and duties that we are being given. The interpreting task force has not appointed someone. As for the mental health task force, we haven't appointed a chair for either, so there's no information to report at this time. Hello, my name is Richard Ray. I'm the director of the Emergency, Disaster, and Police Training Advisement Task Force. I am pleased to inform you all with an updated report. I have 3 topics that I would like to share today. The first is real-time text, and this is in reference to the real-time text to 911 emergency services. The pilot testing for the state of California. The RTT is an advanced version of a TTY. The California Public Utilities Commission, the CPUC, is now recruiting volunteers to help with testing. We are asking for your support and your assistance in this matter. I'm also going to be involved in this project, and we can use Android technology, iPhone technology, and a standalone RTT technology. And this is for testing purposes right now. Last fall in 2019, I provided a report from text to 911 using short message service, also known as SMS. The Governor's Office of Emergency Services has been establishing different text to 911 services across the state of California since then. General Assembly Bill 1168 is now requiring the Governor's Office of Emergency Services to implement both SMS and RTT services by January 1st, 2021. I want to thank Sherry Farina, Dr. Patty Hertz, Jorge Reyes Salinas, and the Governor's Office of Emergency Services for all of their collaboration. August 27th of 2020, the CAD hosted a community forum discussion, and I presented on this particular topic, the topic of RTT to 911 emergency services, about the pilot testing. Now, if you want more information, it is available for you all to peruse, and you are welcome to watch the 55-minute presentation video that I gave. The link can be found here below. Now, with your support, we can help conduct the pilot testing to assure that RTT as a system is working appropriately. Now, if you are interested in being a part of this team, please let me know by sending me an email at this email address on the screen. It's edptatf@cad1906.org. The second topic I want to report on is that the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC of North America Council, the NANC, IVC, has reported last year in the fall of 2019 that people are now increasingly being reliant on different types of real-time video technology. And that could be for a person's education, communication, and emergency communication. Currently, with people communicating to each other with different technologies, it is often not compatible. Because of this reason, the FCC has established the NACC IVF to focus on how different video technologies can become compatible across multiple platforms so communication can be maximized and accessible. This is great for people with deaf and hard of hearing needs. Three-way video conferencing calls can become easier and more compatible for people that use interpreting services. The next generation of 911, we want to allow for direct access to emergency services using any sort of video technology or platform that we are familiar with, rather than using different types of technology that we don't know how to use. We want to be able to use something that is familiar to us. The IVC work group concluded their secondary term with recommendations, and the final report included findings and was resubmitted to the FCC on June 29th, 2020. It is available on the FCC's website. Address you can see is on the screen below. The third topic I want to report on is the emergency notification and wireless emergency alerts. This has been a very interesting year with a lot of unfortunate situations here in the state of California and around the world. We've been facing different things like COVID-19, fires, and other unforeseen disasters. I'm sure that many of you have faced many challenges in getting accurate, timely information through media and technology. The White House itself has failed to provide American Sign Language interpreters for the president's own press briefings on COVID-19. As a result, the National Association for the Deaf filed a lawsuit against the White House. The federal courts who oversee the lawsuit of NAD versus Trump has ordered the White House to begin to provide ASL interpreting services at all of the White House COVID press conference briefings. Now, a question for you all is, are you receiving important, timely notifications through your social media? I'm not talking about delayed information. Are you able to access current, real-time information? Your assistance is needed to help us identify areas and issues that then could be used to provide recommendations, as well as support innovative approaches that can then increase accessibility to protect the lives and property of our people in the local areas. The California Association for the Deaf cannot do this project alone. We need to be collaborating with everyone across the state to accomplish this big task. In conclusion, the 3 topics that I reported on today needs to be followed very closely to ensure equity and meaningful access to emergency services for people who are deaf, deafblind, hard of hearing in the time of crisis and disaster. We have work to do. If any of you all are interested and want to serve on a task force related to these topics, please let me know as soon as possible. We have work to do. The email address that you can contact me at is edptatf@cad1906.org. I look forward to working with you all. Thank you so much. The CAD Media, Mariah Monte de Rey, has no new information to report. Before I give our committee report, I do want to announce that Jermaine Cornish is the best person out there. I really want to thank him and Kavita's board for doing all of the good work that they continue to do, especially during COVID. My name is Marla Hatrack, and I am the chair of the Public Policy and Legislative Committee for CAD. I have 2 things I want to report. I don't know if you all remember, but we did have our EHDI Symposium last January. It was supposed to be in November, but it got postponed till January. It was an all-day event. It was very successful. It was held in Fremont. 150 people were in attendance. Of those 150 people, it included parents of deaf children, deaf professionals, deaf people from our community, and local professionals. We will be having another symposium in January 2021. I think it's January 13th, 14th, 15th. It's tentative at this point. Please look at the website for more information. This symposium will be virtual, so it'll be very easy to join. The second thing I'd like to report on is that the EHDI Symposium that happened last January, we decided to publish a policy report from the presentations that we had been involved with all day that should be released by January of next year, 2021. Keep your eye out for that. Any questions? Email me at langpolicy@cad1906.org. Thank you so much. The Deaf Employment Group, Roberto Cabrera and Kavita Pipla, have no new information to report at this time.
Hello, my name is Keith. I am very excited to be participating in this committee. Our language never stops growing. We never stop learning and make continuous improvements to our language every day. Ongoing Quality ASL recognizes the need to improve our language. We have began exploring what is needed in the state of California. For example, K-12, deaf children, do they have access to quality ASL education? Are their teachers qualified? Are they in schools for the deaf? Are they mainstreamed? Do they have quality ASL teachers? What are the requirements for that? Are they licensed? Are they certified? Do these teachers have the credentials to be teaching quality ASL? Also, with colleges, for hearing students who want to become sign language interpreters in the future, social workers, allies, different roles in the deaf community, are we setting a standard for quality ASL teaching? So now we are exploring and gathering information and creating an analysis of the changes we can do here in California to improve the quality of ASL. This is not a one-time analysis. This is going to be ongoing. Sign language has been around for a very long time. And research and study shows in the last 60 years, which is not long, there's still so much we don't know. We still discuss and we focus on sign language, but expanding the point to looking at phrases, sentences, stories, looking at other users of ASL, looking at that and looking at it as quality, and maybe someone is not qualified. Oftentimes, you might have a favorite author, but have you ever asked who is your favorite signer? You should have one. We are so fortunate to have wonderful technology, to have video relay service, to have vlogs. In the last 15 years, technology has allowed us to see so many different variety of ASL signers, and it's wonderful, and we benefit from each other through technology. And I think it's just great to be involved in the Quality ASL Committee in California. I look forward to working with CAD going further. History Preservation Committee has no appointment. This is a necessity at CAD. If you have papers from 1906 or the 1900s to today, if you have information, folks who used to live here in California moved to Virginia and still have those papers and information. They just brought that back to California. That information is now home. Our president, Kavita, has that information but we need an expert on transferring all of that information to become digital. Do you know somebody that can do that? Join us now. www.cad1906.org has a brand new look. If you are low vision or deafblind, you are able to navigate through the platform easily. There are different color changes and different options for people who have issues with color blindness. And also, if you want to make a donation, you can here as well. Hello, everybody. My name is Sugli Hong. I am one of the board of trustees for CAD's Financial. So the board includes me, Doug Sampson, and Denise Sidensky. The three of us reviewed the request for the CAD Foundation annual report to make sure that they are supporting their goals, providing for deaf Californians. I want to share with you last year's slide and how much money we had in the balance then. So this spreadsheet was shared with you last year. We started in 2016 with 1.2 million. In September 2019, we shared with you we had $1.18 million. The reason for that is we had put it in 3 different areas, and it was $50,000 each in 2017, 2018, and 2019, $50,000 per year. So our current balance we've had a great year in 2019. We have increased $170,951. And we have just approved a $40,000 withdrawal for our 2020 goal. So the current balance we have now is almost $1.3 million. And I just think that that is incredible news. Again, this does not show the whole picture of our financial gains and losses this year, but so far, I think that we are in good standing. So according to this pie chart, looking at cash and fixed income, this is the September 2019 report, and I wanted to show this, but there have been a lot of recent changes. Also recognizing the equity of people who are managing that. His name is Stephen Hillcook and Marilyn. They are both managing the account to make sure that our funding and financial status is secure. The next two slides I will be showing you on the changes that we made. In March 2020, all of us knew that the economy would be devastatingly impacted by coronavirus. So we balanced our cash withholding percentage to make sure that we offsetted the amount of the economic impact on our account. Each month, we are adding cash for investments, and we see a huge growth opportunity. The current categories look like this standing. You can see the percentage of cash has decreased. It's at 7.7% currently, and that helps with our investments when stocks become cheaper and helps us gain in the future. As you've seen on the previous slide, we are currently at a good position at $1.3 million, and we hope to see this continue as continuous years come. We understand that the future is unpredictable, and I don't think that people understand how volatile the stock market can be currently. Oftentimes, people are recognizing the importance of preservation and saving funds, but my goal is to support CAD's efforts and all of the things that they have established this year. They have communicated with you that they did make a reduction in the budget because this year we are not able to have large social gatherings. That modification was made and we are now virtual. And I see that we've already made success in that goal with multiple webinars, virtual meetings. We need to recognize and commend CAD's work in this effort. The Board of Trustees wants to remind everyone to remember CAD's mission. 1906, California Association of the Deaf's mission is to preserve, protect, and promote linguistic, human, and civil rights for all deaf Californians. And I think that CAD has done a tremendous job on that effort. Thank you so much for watching our report for CAD's funding. And I encourage you to stay safe during these odd times. Hello. I'm here to discuss old business and updates on what was proposed last year in 2019. What was passed during the conference in 2019, all of those proposals, we have discussed and have decided on 5 different things. Mental health, establishing a task force. There is a huge need around California, and we've recognized that need. Oftentimes, mental health is pushed aside and not recognized. So we've decided to create a task force for that. As time comes, we will appoint someone to be focusing on that mental health task force in the next weeks. We will decide and announce who will be joining that task force. For the communication PR, we have a proposal for that to maintain what is going on with CAD at all times and what is going on with our community here in California. We will appoint a person who will be responsible for PR. The third one you see here, you saw Sharon. She is the member director, and she was explaining in regards to the different regions, focusing on diversity statistics on CAD members. We want to know our members and what the percentage is of different races, youth, BIPOC, just getting a surface of who our members are and their location. The fourth one is senior citizens. You saw the presentation in regards to the analysis, having a one-stop center or not having a center, discussing caregivers, where to go for more resources and information. And that's already been established by the chair of the Senior Citizens Task Force. The fourth one is the one-stop center for deaf Californians. Where do they go? Where is that center? So in the past, we've had gatherings at nightclubs, community centers, and different events like that. The goal is to have a center that we can all go to at all times. The fifth one is the collaboration with CalEd for their educational symposiums. We feel that that is very vital for the K-12 community and college and thereon. Language deprivation is vital on making sure that we focus on that and making sure that we focus on students who are mainstreamed, focusing on emotional supports, socialization, language, all of that included, partnering with CalEd and making sure that we are at a success. CalEd, their focus is education for deaf and hard of hearing students. And that is what we've been doing and working on this year. I want to thank all of you for working hard and making this happen. It's not easy, especially with coronavirus. I do want to thank everybody for investing their time, volunteering your time, and making this happen for our California community. So now we have an announcement.
Hello, my name is Annabelle, and I am the Junior NAD Ambassador from 2019 to 2021. Guess what? The NAD Youth Program has some really exciting news to share with all of you. Due to coronavirus, many schools have been closing their doors and instead going to a distance learning approach instead. That means that many schools are going to be focusing on education first. Instead, sports, clubs, and other organizations are not going to be given big priority. That includes Junior NAD too. I'm heartbroken. NAD really cherishes their relationship with junior NAD chapters, and they understand if you cannot pay your annual membership fees. So this year, we have waived the annual membership fee. That includes for those of you who want to establish a new chapter, go ahead. You can do that. Establish a new junior NAD chapter without any charge. Take advantage of that. You will get monthly updates from NAD youth programs. You will also get the Junior NAD mag throughout the year. You will also develop competent skills through different activities.
You can collaborate with a group of friends of people who are 18 and older, and they are advisors that can help you with your journey. Join today. Hello, welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed watching our CAD reports, our task force reports, our standing committee reports. Those were just wonderful. I know that you guys have been holding your questions for the Q&A. We have finished very early, so go ahead and take a breath and take a little bit of a break and come back at 11 for our Q&A. And that Q&A will be regarding the statewide meeting reports. If you think of any questions regarding the reports people made, if you want to discuss with a specific person, you need to show up on Zoom. Those of you who want to make a question, you have a limited time of 2 minutes to state your question. You have two choices. If you want to show up on Zoom and sign your question, you can. But just FYI, people will be able to see your question. If you do not want to appear on screen and you want to type your question, we have a moderator that will be signing your question on Zoom as well. And then they can make their answers for your question. So you have two options. Okay, have a wonderful break. Take a breather, relax, and we will see you back at 10:50 around that time. Okay, and we will start Q&A at 11. All right, well, I will see you at 10:50. Thank you so much for watching our reports. We look forward to your questions. All right, thanks everybody.
Let's see all your videos. I want to see your happy faces. Just go ahead. Say a quick hello. Hey, Gloria, I want to tell you, I'm in class with your daughter. Wait, no way. Yeah. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you all enjoyed your quick break. Had a little bit to drink, thought about some questions you'd like to ask the CAD board. We are looking forward to this question and answer session. We will be answering your questions to the very best of our ability. So, before we get started, I want to explain a little bit about how this is going to go. If you have a question and you'd like to ask your question in ASL, please let us know. We have a team here that is ready to help support our tech needs. We'll have a list of questions that our staff has compiled from you all. After we go through the list and answer them, we will then open it up to anybody else that has any last minute questions. If you have any questions, please type it in the Zoom chat. It's really easy to monitor the order of people asking questions, and also people can also answer questions amongst themselves in our Zoom chat, and we can answer anything that remains unanswered. If you all are in the Zoom meeting, please go ahead and turn off your video cameras. Our CAD secretary will be facilitating the question and answer session. She will sign any questions that are posted in the chat, and then the person that would like to answer can turn on their video. If you would like to use sign language to ask your question, that's great. We will let you spotlight the video and you can ask your question. If you don't want to, you can just again type it in the chat and someone will sign it for you. All right, I guess we're ready to start with a question. All right, Kavita, would you like me to go ahead and sign the first question? Yes, but before you do that, I need everyone on our Zoom meeting to turn off their cameras. Okay. Kavita, go ahead and let me know when you would like me to start. Okay, Patty and Brianne, I need you all to please turn off your videos. Great, thank you. All right, Deanna, our CAD secretary, go ahead with our first question. All right, the first question. Our deaf senior citizens in Palm Springs, California, has some funds that they did donate to the CAD Deaf Senior Citizens section, and they want to know what happened to that donation. All right, good question. I can answer that. Thank you for bringing this topic up. So particularly the Palm Springs Deaf Senior Citizen money was $50,000, and it actually went to a Merrill Lynch account, and that's where it is going to be held. This is an account specifically for deaf senior citizen use. So we have established a deaf senior citizen task force, and the reason that we established that is because we had a motion that was brought up, I think, in 2017. And that motion was to establish a task force. Now, the $50,000 that's in a Merrill Lynch account is not going to be used. Instead, we have an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding, between CAD and the senior citizens from Palm Springs. And that agreement is that the funds will only be used through decisions made by the Senior Citizen Task Force. All right, Dodie, do you want to add to this answer? Dodie, CAD Treasurer, do you want to add or do you want to move on to the second question? All right, we'll just go ahead and move on to the second question. So the Interpreting Task Force, can you tell me a little bit more about what that has been established for? Yes, the Interpreting Task Force is actually a vital part of our state. And we know that historically we haven't had any formal task force that focuses on certifications or licensure. We had a chair for the Interpreting Task Force, and due to COVID and other reasons, that chair has resigned. So we currently have an availability. And this task force is really important because it's going to be focusing on things like growing our interpreting workforce. We have many amazing interpreters out there that are waiting for a certification or licensure. And as we know, AB 5 has had a major impact on interpreters and their livelihood, especially those that work as independent contractors. So when we look at these interpreters that are amazing, that do not have a certification or a licensure yet, they're often kind of overlooked, but they are amazing interpreters that have a lot of skills. So we want to find a chair that will then help sort of push for some movement that focuses more on the qualifications of an interpreter and how they can do their job and be able to pass their necessary certifications and join the workforce. So that's going to be part of the roles and responsibilities of the Interpreting Task Force. If anybody is interested in being involved or becoming the chair, let me know. All right, next question. This is a question for Alexis. Alexis, do you mind turning on your video camera really quick? The question says, I'm thrilled to see Alexis Bravo become the CAD Youth Director. I do have a question directed to them. Maybe I missed some of your information that you shared in your video, but maybe you could repeat, if you already mentioned it, how we can involve more people between the ages of 18 and 30 to be involved with the youth CAD group. Great question. I have been making sure, I'm sorry, hold on. I've been making sure that we have more publicity focused on some events in our communities here in California. So whatever there is a passion for in your life, you could be involved, whether it's working with the youth director, the president, the vice president, the secretary, anything that you're passionate about, please feel free to sign up and volunteer for. It's a great way to gain experience. It's a great way to get your name out there. Many people, don't have the experience, but they take on a responsibility like a volunteer position with CAD or a CAD youth, and they learn a lot. And maybe their work, doesn't impact a lot of people, but it will impact the people that they do come into contact with. And it will impact their life in making sure that their skills grow. So I think it's really important for anybody that wants to be involved to take advantage of the volunteer opportunities with CAD. All right, thank you, Alexis. The next person has a question for Kavita. So I have a nominee for the Mental Health Task Force. Is there a way that I could get that name to you? Kavita says yes. Please do. Pass their name along.
So how can that person inform you their name?
Oh, I see. Okay, well, they can reach out to me,
Yes.
and it's president@cad1906.org.
This is a question for Richard Ray. We're waiting for the participant to. Oh, Richard Ray is now on screen. I can go ahead and ask the question. So, Richard, are there any criteria required that is required for participating in the text emergency task force?
Good question. There is no requirement or criteria necessary for being involved. We can give training on how to use RTT if you are interested, specifically to be involved with the pilot test. The pilot test isn't going to be starting until spring of 2021, but that gives us plenty of time to get you guys familiar with the technology. If you are involved with the pilot test and you notice any sort of issues with RTT, you would just have to keep us informed of those issues so we can continually update the system. So just get your name involved. Let me know if you're interested, and we will give you the training you need. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Richard. It is now 11:12, and we will be continuing questions until noon. The next question is going to be signed by Brian Berlinski. Go ahead and turn on your video, please, to sign your question. Hello, my name is Brian Berlinski. I'm here in the Bay Area. I have a question in regards to legislative activity. First, I would like to recognize CAD for your participation in legislative action, supporting Lead K, and also with the new AB5 law with worker classification. So my question is in regards to future legislative activity. Do you know what will be next for deaf Californians in regards to legislation?
Hi, Brian. Great to see your face. Thank you for asking that question. I really appreciate it. So some future legislative action that we are going to be focusing on, like you did mention, AB 5 was amended to AB 2557. So our work still continues with that. They're going to be back in session in January 2021. So we haven't stopped while they are on a break. Instead, we continue with our task force, our committees, and all of the Californians out there that are interested in this bill. If you have any feedback, let us know. We will make sure that we continue to add that as we do move forward with this goal. So we've also established the mental health task force because we see that there are many people out there that don't get adequate service or don't even have access to appropriate services and communication. So when it comes to government services, Medi-Cal, so on and so forth, insurance companies, they don't recognize the struggles that deaf and hard of hearing people face. So when they ask for a deaf counselor that they can access directly, they are often referred to a signing person, but that's not what deaf people want. Deaf and hard of hearing people want to have a way to access their therapy and mental health needs with a signing person. So we want to have a list of professional licensed deaf mental health providers on a panel so that we can continue to push for adequate services in that state, in the state. So I hope that answers your question, Brian.
Yes, thank you so much for answering my question. That puts us in good hands. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next question is from Dr. Patty Hughes. Go ahead and turn on your camera and go ahead and sign your question. Hello, everybody. Sorry, got a bad background behind me. I have a question for the foundation. How much percentage of our investments is responsible for stocks? Like, what does that look like? If you need me to clarify, I can expand on that. Okay, so currently we have an equal responsibility to make sure that our finances are spread out into the right area. So, not making too big investments that are against people's rights or investing in segregation, making sure that we are investing in social responsibility stocks because we need to make sure that we diversify our money in the right path. We want to make sure that we are not investing in something that is discriminatory against race, disability, deaf and hard of hearing, and so on.
All right. Can we have someone from the foundation answer the question?
Or Dodie.
Okay, Dodie.
That's okay. You can email me.
Okay, I see Dodie's going to jump on to answer that question.
So this is Dodie speaking. Unfortunately, I cannot answer that question. That is the committee's responsibility. We, as the CAD board, trust the board of trustees to make sure that they are making regulated IPS investments and following our IPS statement. That follows our mission and our goal. Samson or Denise Sidinsky, the Board of Trustees can answer your question. Unfortunately, I cannot. Thank you. Yes, I just wanted to make sure that our finances are diversified. We, as CAD members, instruct the board. It is not the Board of Trustees' responsibility.
Right. Thank you, Patty. He's appreciate that. Definitely important to do that. And we will pass this on to the appropriate people, and we'll make note of that in the IPS.
Thank you.
Yes, definitely. I'll make sure that this gets to the right people. Thank you, Patty. Appreciate it.
Okay, next question. The question is from Ida Mohedi. She will be signing her question for Alexis. Oh, just one moment. Let's wait until you get onto the screen. Okay, go ahead, Alexis. Hi, Alexis. I'm thrilled to have you involved as the youth leader. I wanted to talk about the nominees for the senior leader and those awards. I'm curious how we can nominate. Will there be a diversity award for different races?
So I will type something up, make sure it's really neat, and then we'll send it to all of the different high school departments. We are looking to recruit from all different cultural and racial backgrounds. We want to find seniors out there that have been through, some really tough times, and we're going to be looking at their individual stories as well as taking into account teacher recommendations. So we want to hear from teachers as to why they think this particular senior should be chosen for this award. We would be asking for some pictures of them doing different activities, and then we as the board will look at the different nominees, appoint someone to get that award. We will then inform their district as well as the parents, get the parents' approval to publish the senior's name and picture, and then we will surprise them. So yes, we are looking to recruit nominees from all different cultural and racial backgrounds.
Okay, great. Thank you, Alexis.
And I hope that we're going to be finishing the expectations and requirements for nominees by the end of this month. Then hopefully high school districts can kind of take some time to really pick the right senior that they feel should be recognized from their unique experiences and journeys. You know, there's a lot of students that get recognized for good grades or different typical things in high school, but we want to recognize someone that's been through some really challenging times and has prevailed. So we look forward to those nominees.
Great. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Okay, next question. So just timekeeping, it is now 11:20. We are continuing until noon. If you have more questions, please type those on Facebook. Next question. Could you expand on how the work is going with NAD and CAD? And
Do you mind repeating the question?
so the NCAD appointees, could you explain how that system works?
Okay, so if I understand the question, and correct me if I don't, you're asking, I believe, how we've appointed delegates to send to the core meeting.
Yes, the person has a question on how delegates work with the system with NAD.
So based on how many attendees we have at a conference, so for example, we have 100 attendees, we will then have one delegate that represents them. If we had 200 attendees, we have then two delegates. So for every 100, they add a delegate. So it really is based on attendance. Because of COVID-19, we are going to be having a virtual meeting. It's not going to be in site. And it was supposed to be hosted in July in Chicago. Unfortunately, that was postponed to October, and it will be held virtually. We have been discussing and decided to send two delegates from within our California Association of the Deaf membership, and so we're going to be sending them out there. It is a last minute sort of arrangement now as with a virtual meeting, but we will see.
So this is in addition to your comment, President Kavita. Why do we have a delegate system established? What is the value there for?
Okay. So NAD has asked for delegates to be a part of their system because, as you know, they are a national organization. So each state sends a delegate to the national conference, which is basically bringing topics from their local community to the national level. These delegates can make proposals, they can engage with discussions with NAD, and we also make a priority for the delegates that go to the national level. The delegate's job is to focus on prioritizing the information to their top 5 topics that they want NAD to take on. Kind of like what we do with the CAD, right? We make proposals to the community. And then I believe last fall we had 17 proposals that were brought up, and some of them overlapped. So we kind of vetted them and distilled them down to 5 priorities that kind of encompassed all of those different suggestions. The delegates at the NAD level also do the same thing. They work on different priorities, they make proposals, they vote, and they give those top 5 proposals to the NAD National Conference. So the COR is the Council of Representatives, and they meet at the NAD conference.
Okay, next question. So for the standing committee, for the ongoing quality ASL committee, what is the next step for them?
Yeah, Deanna, do you want to answer that? You are also a part of that committee. So right now we're currently working with our survey questions, and the survey is basically being developed to send out to ASL programs. I think we have about 300 ASL programs within the state of California. This survey is going to be sent to all of them by the end of this year. Well, that's our goal anyway. That's our next step here. We want to collect data to kind of get a better idea of where we are.
So next question. How do I find more information about Lead K for California? How can I find more information?
I can answer that question. If you go to the Lead K website, Lead K has become its own organization and they have their own website. It's www.leadk.org. And that is where you can look up different information that you might want to find. It's pretty fabulous. The website has a lot of important information.
Marla, do you want to add to that?
Marla Hatrack, do you want to ask that question? No? Answer the question? No? Okay. All right, next question. During the last 6 months, what other collaboration has been completed with the California deaf, blind, and deaf organizations? So CAD has collaborated with other deaf organizations like deaf blind organizations. In the last 6 months, has there been any new collaborations or anything that has been completed?
Okay, so if you've seen one of my points on the previous slide is a collaboration with CalEd, making different agreements that has not been established yet. The second one is for the Deafblind Task Force. Also, we have a partnership with another deafblind establishment. It's the SBDA, that's the Southern California Deafblind Association. That is a partnership we are going to establish in the future. And also, you do know that CAD is a partner of all the sister agencies in California. We also are partnered with SCRID, SCRID. On the way, we have one or two more partnerships happening, hopefully, and we will be announcing those soon. Once we have established that partnership, we will announce on those.
All right. We have someone else that would like to add to that answer. Do you want to add to that answer? Which question about collaboration? Yes.
Okay, I have no comment on that.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you. All right, next question. When I went to the CAD website, I noticed that it said nonprofit. Can you explain a little bit more about how a nonprofit organization could partner with CAD?
Sure. I'm glad that you brought that up. Our envision here at CAD and the reason why we appointed as a nonprofit organization, for example, Deaf Hope or other nonprofit organizations also provide services for the deaf and hard of hearing, deafblind community. And their services are parallel with our envision here at CAD. We cannot just have one organization to lead the fight for the deaf community. We want to establish multiple partnerships with other nonprofits to lead that fight. Establishing a partnership with mental health, seeing what they need from us to do to make sure that that push is there and make sure that access is available for mental health services. If Deaf Hope wanted to establish a partnership with us in the Silicon Valley, having survivors there, I hats off to Deaf Hope for that. Also, different funds that are needed. We can inform the state that those funds are required. Creating a coalition with different deaf organizations, plus California Association for the Deaf, creates strong representation for the deaf community.
All right, next question. Thank you, President Kavita. This next question is for Alex. I'm going to go ahead and wait for Alex to turn his camera on. Great. So the question says, I would love to see Alex traveling around to different schools for the deaf and mainstream programs around California, talking and explaining about CAD to the youth. Now, I know the youth director focuses on the ages of 18 to 30, but what about the people out there that are under 18? They could become familiar with CAD and junior NAD programs. Is that something that you would be interested in doing, traveling around the state and visiting schools?
I love that question. I would be happy to travel to different schools, mainstream programs, and deaf schools. 18 and above are those who can be involved with CAD, but it does not mean that I'm going to be neglecting those who are under 18. I will be providing support to junior NAD. There is a camp. Also, Gallaudet University's youth program. Also, each internal school has their clubs, volunteer programs, and outdoor community events that I will be encouraging to teach what diversity is and also the right way to lead and how I can teach these kids on how to stay motivated and not neglect the program itself. How can I encourage people to establish partnerships once I retire and leave this program? I just want to make sure that the deaf community stays growing, and I want to establish different events to show that the deaf community can do anything that they want to do. I see that kids have a passion, they have the talent, they're unique, but people don't realize that internally they have a uniqueness to them. But once they get involved into an organization such as this, they expand on those skills and they figure out their strengths and weaknesses, and they look at that weak area and they change that and they build it into a strength. And that's what I want to teach. I would be glad to go to one of your schools or facilities. If you want me to go to one of your schools, I would love to. Let me know. I don't only teach workshops, but I can also do social time, different fun activities, events, different stuff like that. Whatever you need from me, I am willing to do. I'm there for you.
Thank you, Alexis. Next question. Related to the National Black Deaf Advocacy Organization, NBDA, is there any plans to work in collaboration with them in the near future?
Yes, definitely. I did discuss with the NBDA president, and they have informed me that they are currently working with Alan Parker. He is the president for the Bay Area Black Deaf Advocates, and we have decided yes, we will be establishing a partnership. CAD focuses purely on California, but since the president wants to work together here in California with Black Deaf Advocates, we can work out a partnership to make sure that we get the ball rolling. Definitely.
Next question. I'm wondering how COVID-19 has impacted the operations for CAD.
I'm sure that it's pretty standard, the impact for everyone. My personal life, work has an impact on CAD as well. Traditionally, we give presentations out in the field. We go to the statewide meetings, but now, see, we are hosting our first virtual web meeting. At first, it was awkward for us, but we have an amazing team working together to make this happen. For example, every Thursday, if you look at the vice president's report, Jermaine Cornish, he mentioned that every Thursday we have a panel for different topics. And now we have our virtual statewide meeting until 12, but that's not it. We also have a webinar for the rest of the afternoon, and that's more of a workshop. So, yes, CAD is going to continue to be virtual until coronavirus cases go down and we are safe to go back and socialize again. I'm so excited to see you all in person.
All right, next question. I have really enjoyed the meetings on Thursdays. Do you mind sharing how that started? I would love to know how I can support this weekly Thursday meeting so that it can continue.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to give a big commencement to Jermaine Cornish, our vice president. He has really thought on, just had a huge thought process on how bring the deaf community together by donations. You can donate $5. It still counts. Continue to donate so we can continue operations. If you want to see those Thursday panels, go to our website and donate any amount that you please. I am very happy to see that you guys are enjoying our CAD Thursday vlogs. I appreciate that.
I know that our vice president is so tech savvy, and I know that he's running this meeting even today. Can you go ahead and turn on your video camera so we can see who you
Yes,
are?
definitely. Yes, please.
Just want to give you the applause that you deserve.
Jermaine, come on. Yes. Woohoo!
Yes, the Thursday platform is a success because of you. It's brought our community together to collaborate. You are so amazing for that. Thank you. All right, the next question is the last question that we have. I just want to give you a time check. We have 11:40. We have 20 minutes left before we close the morning meeting for lunch. If you have any questions, please go ahead and type it in the Facebook Live. And this next question, last question, is for Alexis. Alexis, can you turn on your video? All right. Alexis, great idea that was brought up with you traveling to different schools, what if you went ahead and made a video that could be sent out to all the different schools in the state instead of you having to travel? If you did, how could the school request a visit from you after perhaps seeing a video from you? What's the best way to reach out to you?
Yes, you can email me at youth@cad1906.org. I would be glad to answer your emails anytime. It could be for a school event or a general question. Either way, contact me.
So I'll give it a few minutes to see if any other questions come in. I'm going to go ahead and check with our team here. Okay, so we're going to open the floor. If you have a question you would like to ask, you can go ahead and turn on your camera. We have a few 20 minutes left-ish. If you have anything you'd like to ask, go ahead. It's an open floor right now. So I'm going to give you all a few more minutes. If anybody wants to turn on their camera and ask a question, you feel free to do that. If nobody has any further questions, we will close, but I'm going to give it a few minutes.
Don't be shy. Come on with the questions. Any question is fine. I would love to see your questions, your thoughts, any proposals you have. Please let me know.
I just want to take the opportunity to take my hat off to you. This is a thankless job. It's also a volunteer position. I've worked closely with you throughout the AB5 collaboration, and I just want to say, Kavita, you have done so much, and you've consistently participated in all the meetings, and you've done amazing. It's been a wonderful opportunity to work with you, and so I just want to recognize you and all of the time and all of your hard work.
Thank you. Thank you. And also recognizing, Patty, you as well, your contribution to make sure that access is there and make sure that interpreters are provided. I want to thank GLAD for believing in us as well. I think that it was just a wonderful experience working with you.
Yes, thank you, Kavita. Bye.
Yes, thank you, Patty. Appreciate it.
All right, there has been no further questions.
Okay, we have about 15 minutes left for more questions. Any thoughts that you have? Please go ahead and say them. CAD is nothing without you. And it's truly amazing that you are involved and encouraging us to do the work because we are doing the work for you. If there are no further questions, that's fine. Don't forget to email us at any time and contact any of the board members that you need to. Also, visit our website at www.cad1906.org. There is a new look to it. If you have feedback about the website, please let us know. We are always open to your feedback. Don't forget, we have a webinar happening at 1 in the afternoon. You have a chance to still register before 1 p.m. Those of you who are already members, it is $13. Those of you who are non-members, it is $25 for the afternoon webinar. Leanne Osborne is an incredible presenter, and also the 4 panelists are amazing, and also Lorraine as the facilitator. Please come, learn from us, and we can learn together. Come and see us at 1 o'clock. I'll see you there. and that webinar will be happening on Zoom. We have those of you who have already registered, the link has been sent out. If you register now before 1 p.m., that link will be sent over for the webinar. Are there any questions for this afternoon?
We have one question. I'm going to check in with the team. It seems like there are no more questions.
Okay, no more questions. Great. Well, I wanted to thank you, the sign language interpreters, the captioner, for helping us run this meeting today. And I will see you all at 1. Thank you. Have a wonderful lunch, rest, and chat with your friends. Bring your thoughts at 1 p.m. for our webinar. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.